Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today I visit Birds in Flight Animal Sanctuary and Rescue. I also get my sister's niece and brother-in-law in the kitchen for easy breakfast tacos. But first, a Guinness Record Troll Museum in Alliance. Well, there's so much to see here at the Troll Hole. You absolutely have to be taken on the tour. How did all of this start? Were you always a collector of troll dolls? Is that like what you did as a hobby?
I like to say it was very passively acquired because when I was little, at 5, I got a troll doll with my sisters for Christmas because that was in the 60s. And,
right.
And they were popular.
Yes.
So between then and on into the late 80s, there weren't very many available. We lived in the Southwest. So I had less than a dozen, not hardly any at all. Then we moved east to Cuyahoga Valley. Now we were flea markets, yard sales, and trolls started making a comeback. People started dumping collections of trolls in the late 90s, early 2000s. So when this project came to be, we started a renovation of a historic Main Street here in Alliance.
Yeah.
And we needed a hook. And my husband looked around and said, well, Guinness records bring a lot of publicity. You have a large pile of trolls. Yes. Why don't we see if we can get the record? And from there, history's been made. And
so when you counted those trolls for Guinness, how many?
So when I started, I had a mere 2,000 pieces. That's counting memorabilia and troll dolls. But Guinness, to get the record, they established the baseline. They're only counting the dolls, not all the memorabilia.
Right.
And each doll has to be different in one way. The first time we did it, we had 2,190. But I knew, based on the troll doll collecting community, that wasn't a very significant number. So the next time we attempted, it was around 6,000. But Guinness wanted more documentation, so by the time I got all that additional documentation to them, it was 8,130. But now we're over 9,000, closing in on 10,000 unique troll dolls in the collection. Because of all the publicity, now I'm a sanctuary for everyone to bring their beloved troll dolls here.
You have to feed them and take them out.
Yes.
Take them to the bathroom.
We integrate them into the museum and we do rehome and sell some. My husband's been pushing me to get out of the hoarding phase because I've now amassed over 40,000 pieces. Trolls, troll dolls, troll memorabilia.
You know, when I was little, I can remember getting, a troll doll, but we used to call them wishnicks.
Yes.
What is the difference between a wishnick and a troll? Is that a brand?
Yes, it's a brand. So the original fellow, his name was Thomas Dahm of Denmark.
Okay.
And he created the troll dolls and he called them damn trolls. Don't touch my damn trolls.
So this is a Dahm troll.
Yes. When that doll launched, other doll manufacturers looked at it, and the Uneeda Doll Company of the U.S. made a troll similar
to the original Dahm doll.
And they put double horseshoes as their slogan because they're lucky trolls.
Right.
On the bottom of their foot. And those went up all the way through 2007. The Uneeda Doll Company continued to pump out small numbers of troll dolls. So
those were the
wishnicks.
Okay, because we always referred to them as that.
Wishnicks.
So now what is this?
So 2016, The Truth of the Trolls comes out, DreamWorks.
This is all DreamWorks trolls.
Yep.
Wow.
Because DreamWorks, after Shrek, was a struggling company. They needed a big hit. They were going to do a troll-themed movie, and it definitely influenced my decision to feature trolls because I knew trolls were getting a movie. So their new CEO brought in to turn the company around, said, we'll do a Trolls movie, but go to Denmark and purchase the copyright to the iconic doll because the money's in the franchise merchandise. When you're out and about, you can find parts and pieces of trolls. The mountain trolls in particular are sensitive to the sunlight. If the sun touches them and they're young, they burst into 1,000,000 pieces. If they're older, they consolidate into a giant mountain-sized object. Now, this here on the table
is one that combusted?
No. What is that? We picked it out of the woods, we analyzed it and studied it. You see those growing on trees. What is it?
A mushroom?
It's a giant troll booger. They wipe their noses onto the tree. So those are all boogers.
You gotta come on, get out of here. That's a big troll booger. How did you analyze
So
that?
we have a call to action for our tour. It's called Are Trolls Real? You decide upon the evidence I present. It's to play
Troll
with trolls.
collector Barbie.
Because Barbie knew trolls were hot, so her little outfit with the troll.
So this
stretchies
would have
on.
been an early 90s one? Look at her, she's got
around
one in her
92.
pants.
Yeah,
She's got a troll in her pants.
that might be off color, Joe.
What would be your favorite troll? You have to have one that you really
Well,
hold
it's a moving
near
target.
and dear.
Now, my favorite troll was the one he held over there with the orange crocheted panties, which I
Right.
crocheted for him, because that was my first primo, rare, unique
Dom
troll
troll.
that I got.
So he's
once-
your favorite.
Yeah, so my original troll doll, which we'll see downstairs, just a little 3-inch one. It is from the 60s, but to have the more limited production one, that was my first.
Your first
Yeah,
rare
so
one.
he always has a space. And then meanwhile, it's a moving target because we'll see some different trolls as they come in. I'm like, oh, that's my prize. And when I do unboxings on YouTube, then I always look at whatever came in and I pick one and say, of this batch that just came in,
This is
my
best
favorite.
one. Okay, yeah.
So we'll see several of those as we go through the museum. It's like, wow. And there's the first one. Well, they
That's your
shared our-
first guy?
Yeah, I basically learned almost everything I know from trolls from Sherry Groom, the owner.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started working here, like I applied, it's kind of a funny job that I was looking for a museum position because I've worked a lot with history stuff and I've given tours to some historical societies,
Yes.
but I wanted a more permanent museum position. And so I went on Indeed. I'm like, well, I'll look for this gig. And then this job came up at the Troll Museum. I'm like, well, that's a kind of a cool name. It's different.
Troll.
And so I applied here. Like Sherry called me back, and she's like, "Oh, this is the Troll Museum. We're all about trolls." And she ran through everything, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know all about that." But truthfully, I didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
So like when I started working here, I had to watch like a ton of movies, like 7 or 8 different movies have to do with the trolls. I think I've read like 4 books so far.
And then have you noticed, and like, she says they like to move. Have you noticed that they do on their own jump around and
Yeah.
like some weird stuff happens?
Yeah, like some people might say, it's maybe the wind pressure, maybe someone closing a door, wind coming through. But we also had a ghost hunter come here not too long ago and say that the place was haunted with a good ghost, a friendly
Good
ghost.
ghost.
Yeah, like not one of the mean ones. But
Casper.
yeah, like more like Casper. But that's what I truly enjoy doing here is giving the tours.
Right.
Yeah.
And the people you meet, I mean, they're from all over the world.
Yeah, we've had people here from all over Europe, China, South America, of course all over the United States, and of course Ohio here.
Exactly. We better get a lot more from Youngstown area,
I know,
right?
yeah, Youngstown. And we try to promote to everybody, and I try to tell all my friends even, hey, come on down here from Youngstown.
Right.
Check this place out, it's unique. You're not going to see another museum like this. Plus, we're in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I know how cool.
And then that's like an ultimate selling point right there. People love to see that kind of thing.
We are getting close. Scuba Camp is almost here. A year-round destination for adults with disabilities and their families to get away, close to home. Accessible to all, with no barriers. Donate now to Gaba Camp. Help others to enjoy this unique recreational destination. For adults with disabilities and their families to enjoy an accessible camping experience. Donate to Gaba Camp. Giving is living.
Kamara Jewelers is the place to buy an engagement ring because we want a relationship with you that lasts a lifetime. Your commitment with her is the same commitment we have to you.
We want to sit down with you and teach you about diamonds so you're educated on what you're buying. We have the largest selection we ever have, which is the largest in the area, and at the best value. And if it's not something in our case, we could always custom make it. We can make any dream come true.
Get real, get Kamara.
Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank, and that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too, and Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid.
You better come on in my kitchen.
Well, today is a Casey Malone Show exclusive. I have got two people that have never appeared on my show. My brother-in-law, Jim, and my sister, Christine, younger sister. And I've also got my favorite niece, Annabelle. She has not been in the show for what? At least 10 years.
Your favorite and only niece.
My favorite, well, okay, but you're still my favorite. And then she's on my show every Halloween when we make the witch figures when you were, oh my gosh, what, 5 or 6 years old? So adorable. And now she is back, and look at her, little Betty Coed. Freshman at Vassar. You excited, Christine?
I am excited.
So-
and I'm the only one in the family who gets mistaken for Casey Malone, other
That's
than
right.
Mom's voice. Mom's
Yes.
voice also gets mistaken. but
I know, but I remember she was auditing, a school in Trumbull County.
I was auditing, yeah.
She goes into the
I
bathroom.
spilled coffee down my shirt, and when I went into the bathroom to get it off, there were two guys in the hallway whispering, Casey Malone's in the bathroom, and I'm not leaving till she comes out.
And Chrissy was like, oh no.
I stuck my head out and I said, I'm not Casey Malone. I'm a cheap imitation.
And James, I am thrilled to have you here.
Casey, I've been waiting 30 years for breakfast.
30 years. 30 years, that's how long Jim has been in our life. Can you believe that?
No.
I was only 5 years old when he married my sister. I was a little kid. So we are gonna get cooking. Annabelle, get ready.
All right, let's do this.
What I like to do is 2 eggs per person.
Okay.
So I figure we're gonna have probably more people come stumbling in. So I have 10 eggs out.
Gotcha.
And are you good at cracking eggs? Let's see.
No.
You crack one and I'll crack one. Who does it better? Okay. 1. See, you can crack an egg.
It's about a
We'll just throw
50-50.
them in the sink. Ooh, runny egg. Ooh, you don't like that stuff, do you?
No, I don't.
All right, so there we go. We got the eggs.
Okay.
Now, what I'm gonna do, I like what I think lightens up eggs very lightly. Just a splash of water, okay?
Okay.
I don't do milk. I think it lightens it. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. That way I don't have to add the salt when it's on the stove.
Gotcha.
And I think it melts quicker. You know, it like blends in a little better. So why don't you get whisking on that? You know, give it a good whisk. Okay. I boiled these potatoes last night and then sliced them. I don't like to peel potatoes. So I have these, and then I like Cubanelle, sweet Cubanelle, and then just some regular onions. So I'm gonna saute these. We'll go to the stove. We'll start with the potatoes because those are gonna take a little longer, and then we'll get cooking with the eggs. Now this is medium heat,
Gotcha.
okay? And I'm gonna use olive oil. You could probably use butter, or you could use like canola or something, but I think olive oil is good for this because we're not going with a real high heat.
Yeah.
So this is getting nice and shimmery. I think it's gonna be ready to go. So let's put in the onion and the peppers. And we're gonna add those and get them nice and softened. Don't wanna waste. There we go. Okay. And these will start to sizzle. All right. Okay. Now, we are just gonna let this start cooking, and you're gonna hear the sizzle, and then, you know, you don't want it to burn. You just want it to get softened and translucent. These are really cooking nicely. Now, some people really like a burnt brown onion, but I don't. I like them a little softer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think just a couple more minutes, and we'll be ready to add the potatoes.
Gotcha.
So now we are ready for these potatoes. So we're just gonna, we want a little bit of browning on this. So we're just gonna keep watching these, okay? Kind of spread them out so they're even on the pan. And let's let them cook to get just a little crispy brown on the edges. And we'll just let it go. This is all over medium heat. See how they kind of stuck to the bottom of the pan a little bit? That's good, because it got a little bit of a crispness to them.
Got it.
That's how I like them. So now what I'm gonna do is take these off. I have this on a simmer. We are gonna put this on a low, and we are gonna get ready to make the scrambled eggs.
Got it.
The secret to really good scrambled eggs is low and slow.
Got it.
So what we're doing right now, we got about, this is quite a bit of butter, but we have 10 eggs. So, and we got a pretty big pan. So what I'm gonna do is you just wanna melt it really good before you add the eggs. You don't really wanna hear a big sizzle, because that means your pan's too high. And what we're gonna do is just watch and let them get set up. And then you just kind of keep pushing them to cook. But right now we gotta watch the edges, and you're gonna wanna see that the edges are getting just a little cooked.
Okay.
And then we start moving them around. We're just gonna start pulling it in, see?
Okay.
Ever so gracefully. And see, they're just starting to set up a little bit, and then we'll get the next outer layer to start firming up. And then you'll stir the next one. Okay, I think, see, it's getting set up. Let's take it in. Good. See?
Oh,
Good.
hey!
And see,
Okay.
and then the other stuff starts running, so then those edges will get cooked. Pull those in. You're getting the hang of this.
Look at me go.
Wow. Well, it's another Casey Malone Show exclusive. Another family member who has never appeared on my show, my sister Denise.
Hello.
Mother of Annabelle, wife of James. I am so thrilled that you're finally here. This has been a Christmas miracle. We're all together. So you know what we're doing? We're gonna have some mimosas. So there you go. Time to celebrate, Annabelle. And there we go. Christine is grapefruit juice.
I'm doing the pink grapefruit.
All right. Nisi, Annabelle, you just get a little sparkle. That's all you get.
Yeah, thank you.
And Nisi and myself. I like a lot more bubbles. Okay. A toast.
Merry
I'm
Christmas.
so
Merry
thrilled.
Christmas.
To Vassar breakfast tacos? Is that
Right,
what we're
Vassar
calling
breakfast
them?
tacos. All right, now we gotta eat. For my flour tortillas, I dampen each one, wrap it in a paper towel or a dish towel, 30 to 40 seconds in the microwave, and they're really nice, soft, and pliable. So let's pass these around. That is delicious.
I may have over salsa, but it's very good.
All right, so thank you. Go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. The recipe for the Vassar breakfast tacos and the O'Brien's potatoes will be there. And cheers, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Take off with the Casey Malone Show. Woo-hoo!
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Rigetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
We're at a Birds in Flight sanctuary out here in Canfield, and Heather and her son Cameron run, I don't even know what to call it. I guess it is a sanctuary, but it is so much more. And they have got all these educational buildings and more coming where they are holding these poor animals, these poor mainly birds, that are unable to go back into the wild.
Correct.
So right now we're with Emma, the barred owl, And this has been a really long, strange trip, hasn't it?
It has been a very long trip.
Now, when did this begin?
1991.
And you used to be with a zoo?
I worked with a zoo to raise lions and tigers.
And how did the birds come into
My neighbor called.
your sanctuary?
My neighbor called and he had an injured great horned owl and asked me if I could come and get it.
You had no idea.
I had no
did you?
idea how to handle it. I didn't have any idea how to do anything. So I called Division of Wildlife, I called the game warden, and he said there is nobody to do that. So we would, euthanize it. And I said, we don't do that. And he said, find your way. It started with those magic words, find your way.
Find your way. So what were you doing, going through books and trying to see, what did it have, a wounded wing?
It was just really sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up taking it up to another facility for a little bit. They let me come and get it, which I know now is illegal. But, and I let it go like 3 months later. I knew that my lions and tigers were going into a cage for the rest of their life.
Right.
And when I released that, it was like...
You found your calling.
I did. I was doing a lot of praying and a lot of soul searching at the time, and I felt like that was my cue to do wildlife.
So you come by this naturally.
Yeah, I was born.
I mean, you must love animals of all types as much as your mom.
Yeah, maybe more sometimes.
Really? Wow. There is something. As a little kid, what was your first memory of you and your mom rescuing these animals?
Ever since I can remember, there was animals. We've always been taking care of them.
So there are standards and practices that you must follow to be certified?
We hold many licenses right now, a lot of which are rehabilitation of different types of animals. There's certain categories, certain specialty licenses, falconry, which Heather holds. She does.
Really?
We use that permit for research on animals when we can, like one-eyed animals. The educational aspect, which is the animals that is behind us, and the other animals that we have here for the public viewing. So there's a lot that we do.
A lot that is
There's
involved,
a lot.
except funding.
Correct.
The
That's
state
the big one.
And the feds aren't giving you any money.
No, they're
I mean, this is really your mission, but it's also all on donations. So what does Emma eat?
We try to stick to natural diet as much as we can when it's available. We do feed a variety of things. Sometimes, depending on the animal, they will get live just to keep that prey drive going.
Exactly.
Keep them comfortable.
They're here forever if they can't go back into the wild.
So we have
like Emma.
180 days from the time they come here. So every animal here is on paperwork. Every single one that comes through here, which is over 5,000 this year. So with those, we have 180 days from the time they come here to they're either released, they're euthanized, or they're put into education. At the end of 180 days, that's the law.
Right.
We have to make that decision. And sometimes we know right when they come.
Yeah, that they're not going to get better.
Correct.
And, yeah, they can't.
So we may at that point start training them for education, but we don't take animals that are uncomfortable with education. I don't want them to be miserable here.
Right. Like
So-
on display and
Correct.
yeah.
So, that we may choose to euthanize the animal at that time.
So Raina is a red-tailed hawk, and she, of course, is also here for education because her broken wing could not be repaired properly to take flight. And I see a lot of hawks around my area, Cooper hawks, the red-tailed hawk, and they'll swoop down and grab something and be gone. If those people are putting out poisoning in that for those kind of critters, what happens to that hawk that eats that possibly poisoned animal?
If they're the first ingester of it, so meaning that the mouse ate it, it died, and then the hawk or owl gets hold of it, they will most definitely die. They say it's about 15 animals that can die from just one mouse.
One ingestion. Wow.
Including endangered species.
What other kind of rescues have you had?
Squirrels, rabbits, chipmunks, fox, otter.
Otters?
Flamingo.
You had a flamingo?
We did have a
No
flamingo.
way.
Yeah, we did.
What happened?
It escaped from a zoo and we ended up with it.
That is
From
nuts.
Canada, a zoo in Canada.
And you guys had it here?
We did.
How many acres do you have here to keep helping all these poor animals?
80.
So it's just could go on forever. It's endless.
We have some things in the work right now that'll be very beneficial to the public. We won't let an animal suffer. So if it's suffering, we will take it, but we do not normally take domestics.
Right.
But if it's in need, we will take it.
We used to take alligators quite a bit, though.
No way.
Yep. When the police would go in and there would be exotics that they would have to confiscate or something of the sort, we would take them. Because we had the connections to get them to where they needed to go.
You know, what are your needs? All I can think about is the cost. You keep expanding and you want more education. You're a 501c3.
Yes.
And what are your needs? What are your immediate needs or your daily needs?
Do you want the list?
I need
the revised.
I mean, can I have your
the
Christmas
revised
list for
version?
Santa Claus? Okay, grain and stuff is good. You know,
grain
you
is
can
good.
get those certain corn, but I mean, it has to be financial donations. You just really need the money.
And that's hard for people to understand, but when we're like just today, I have to write a $10,000 check to get our day-old chickens here.
During the summer, we can have up to 300 birds of prey. Not just animals, no, just birds of prey.
Because you cover 42 counties.
So a lot.
Use you. I mean, that's nuts.
We also take care of some counties in Pennsylvania, up to 13, depending on who's open and what's going on.
You have to look at birds of flight in two separate, you know, the rehabilitation, which is this and all of that, and then the education, which is all the education cages, the museum we want to build, the wetlands we're putting in, you know, all of that is...
Oh, don't forget about the beekeeping. It's overwhelming.
It is.
And for what you're doing, for all of the certification and all of the checks and balances, you have the trust of everyone. You know, the government trusts you, everybody around here trusts you.
We try very, very hard. We do. We try very hard.
We don't ruffle feathers. We keep to ourselves.
I like it.
We
don't ruffle feathers.
No.
No. Well, I really appreciate this.
Thank
and
you.
I really, you know, donations are needed. So I would like to see, you know, your sanctuary continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.